So let's address Tom Brady and the struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The last 2 weeks, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers have lost. They lost 27-24 to the LA Rams at home, and they also lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 27-24 at home. Tampa Bay right now in 2020, they're 7-5, and they're heading into their bye week in week 13. Now, I don't want to sugarcoat this anymore. I said a couple weeks ago that Tom Brady is slowly but surely declining. He just is. He's not as dynamic as he once was as a quarterback. He's never been the most flashy guy. Never been able to run around like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. But Tom Brady usually got the job done. But right now, Tom Brady, he looks like an average Joe out there. He really does. He just looks like a plain old quarterback. Nothing special. Tom Brady looks like a 43-year-old quarterback right now. The last 2 weeks, he struggled. Versus the LA Rams, he completed 54% of his passes, threw for a measly 216 yards, had 2 interceptions in that game. Versus the Chiefs defense, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't anything special. He once again turned the football over multiple times. The last couple of weeks, and really throughout the season, Tom Brady has just struggled versus pressure. He's really struggled to fit the ball in the tight windows. He doesn't have quite the same. He doesn't have the same arm strength that he had a couple of years ago. And keep in mind, Tom Brady, the last couple of weeks, he's had all his weapons. He's had Chris Godwin. He's had Antonio Brown. He's had Mike Evans. He's had Cameron Brate. He's had Rob Gronkowski. All those guys have been healthy. No excuses. All of them have been healthy. And Tom Brady just has not been getting the job done. And I think right now, Tom Brady is the weak link for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that he's holding them back a little bit. I don't want to hear about the offensive line being the weakness. Tom Brady has had more than enough clean pockets this year in 2020. His offensive line has done a tremendous job. They're a much improved unit. And here's a fact, people. Tom Brady, in the fourth quarter versus the LA Rams, with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go, he had 1 timeout and was only down by 3 points. Tom Brady came up small. He could not convert. He could not get the Buccaneers in field goal position. He came up small. Usually, if you give Tom Brady 2 minutes and 35 seconds with 1 timeout down 3 in the fourth quarter, more times than not in years past, about 4 or 5 years ago, he would bury you. He would close out that game. He couldn't do it. Couldn't do it versus a good defense. He's not been good versus good teams all year. The only quality win that Tampa Bay has this year is versus Green Bay. And in that game, Tom Brady did not do anything special. He just had to hand the ball off to Ronald Jones. He just had to complete a couple passes because his defense, they did their job versus Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady was not asked to do a whole lot in that game. They did not win that game because of Tom Brady. They won the game in spite of Tom Brady to a certain degree because, well, really, they didn't need Tom Brady to do anything, okay? But either way, the point I'm trying to make is Tom Brady looks like a 43-year-old quarterback. And that's completely fine because he's defied Father Time for so long. But we're getting to a point now where it looks like Tom Brady, he might be fading into the sunset, man. He really might. Now, could Tom Brady turn it around? Absolutely. No doubt about it. I'm not going to be the guy to doubt Tom Brady. I'm just telling you what I see right now. I see a 43-year-old stationary quarterback that doesn't have the same arm strength that he used to have, a guy that doesn't seem to be comfortable in his new offense, a guy that's trying to get chemistry going with Antonio Brown. It's not working, and overall, he's just not good versus pressure. He's just not been that good versus good teams this year. And among the NFC contending teams in 2020, you got the Seahawks, you got the Packers, you got the Saints, if Drew Brees is healthy. You got the LA Rams. You've even got teams like the Arizona Cardinals. All of those teams have better quarterbacks than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as we speak today. Tom Brady looks like a 43-year-old quarterback, and that could be concerning for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.